right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. You're here today to learn a little more about an exciting new program that the ABA has, our Wealth and Trust 360 Virtual Symposium. We are so excited you're here to learn about it. We will give you some information of what you can expect, of what the cost is, of when it is, and then we'll also hear from a couple of our advisory board members. We do have you do have the availability to ask questions. So if questions come up, we may get to them in the presentation. If we do not, please ask them in the chat or take yourself off mute and ask them. So with that, I am going to share my screen. Okay. All right, so I am Kim Chansey. I am the director of our Wealth Live programs at the ABA. So I manage the Wealth and Trust Schools as well as the Wealth and Trust 360 Virtual Symposium. And then I could not do what I do without my right hand, Alana Hindi. Alana is our program manager and works very closely with me on these programs. And so we will be the point of contacts if you have any questions, if you register for the program. Throughout, we are your point of contacts. Okay, so as I said, today we're going to do a program overview. We'll talk about the schedule and content. We'll hear from a couple of our advisory board members. We'll talk about the registration options, CE credits, reasons to attend, and then questions. So the program, as I said, our Wealth and Trust 360 Virtual Symposium is a new event that's being offered this year. It is 100% virtual. We heard our attendees loud and clear. We know that you all are very busy. You have lots of clients. You have lots of reasons that you can't be away from home, and you wanted more virtual options. You needed virtual options for the CE credit. You needed virtual options to enhance and grow your own knowledge. And so we wanted to give our customers what they've asked for, hence why we created this program. The program will be February 4th through 5th. 2026. We will go over the agenda in just a minute of the layout and the format of how it is those 2 days. The format is completely virtual. You will have access to the platform from February 4th. The programs will go live at the times listed on the agenda, and then everything is recorded and you will be able to watch it until February 28th. And then interaction, our speakers will be in the chat and they'll be able to answer questions you have throughout by communicating with the chat. So it works very similar to what the Zoom chat works like here. It's a different platform, but it's very similar function. Okay, the schedule at a glance. So as I said, this is what our layout is for Wednesday and Thursday. We'll start at 12 o'clock Eastern time. All times are in Eastern. We'll start at 12 o'clock with a general session. Then you'll have a quick break. We'll have concurrent sessions. There'll be 3 to choose from. They're 45 minutes each. The great thing about it being virtual is if you love all 3 of the topics, which I guarantee you will because we've planned a really great agenda. If you love all 3 of the topics and want to hear them all, you have the ability to go back and watch those sessions until February 28th. We have another break. We have 3 more concurrent sessions, a break, 2 concurrent sessions, and we end with a general session. And then we do the same thing on Thursday. The way we are organizing and focusing our content is by more of a trust focus and a wealth focus. So on February 4th, you will have your trust focus day. On February 5th, you will have your wealth focus day. So that's just how we're organizing the content. It's obviously information we think that's applicable to everyone, but we are organizing it in that manner. The content highlights. I will not read all of this to you, but I went through the sessions and looked at and saw what we were really planning for you. So we have some hot topics: importance of fiduciary, trust document snags, beneficiaries behaving badly, which sounds like a really fun and exciting session to me. Income tax of trust, elder abuse, an economic update, a Washington update. So these are some of the things you'll find throughout, and I think They should all be really interesting and pertinent to you. If you look on our website, you'll find the agenda. There's still a few sessions we're finalizing, but the majority are listed. There's descriptions and speakers, so you can find more about the sessions. The other unique thing that we're doing this year, we really want this program being in early February to set you up for success for 2026. As you know, things are changing all the time. And so, beginning of the year, there's some new rules that are coming into play. There are some rules that came in to play this year with the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. So, we really will talk about all of those and how to manage it and set yourself up for success in 2026. So, with that on our agenda, you will see when you look at the agenda online that everything gives you what a 2026 takeaway is. So, this is kind of the main message. And we are asking our speakers to summarize their presentations at the end with what should you take back? What should you be doing today with this information? What can set you up for success next year? All right. And with that, we have a couple advisory board members joining us today. So we are very lucky to work with some of the best in the industry who advise us on this conference topic. So these are people that are volunteers and people that when we stood up this program last year, I went to and said, "Hey, you're great at what you do. We know you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of value. Can you please join us on the board and help us plan our program?" So they've really spent a lot of time going through the program and helping make sure it's applicable. They're in the same roles as all of you. They have their CTFAs and they know what you need in the industry. And so they've brought subjects that they want to listen to and that they know they need, that they've heard their peers and colleagues say are needed. So we'll hear a little bit more about their experience on the advisory board and more depth in the content, and then why they really think you should come to these sessions. So with that, I will turn it over to Andy Kafka, who is Vice President and Senior Trust Officer at Union Bank and Trust.
Thanks, Kim. That's great. And thanks everybody who has just taken the time out of their day to hop in and learn a little bit more about the virtual symposium. As Kim said, the advisory board, we met back in early July this year and sat down with, gosh, I don't know, there's probably about 10 of us from different trust departments and wealth departments from all across the country who we wanted really to put together a virtual conference that was kind of roll up your sleeves, down in the dirt, uh, really practical information that that your team could take away from attending. And so, I've been active with the ABA. I attended all three of the trust schools way back in the day, 20 years ago, and I've served on various capacities of the ABA, different advisory boards, and and I'm thankful that my institution, Union Bank, allows me to participate and give back to the professionals of the community all across the country. I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska, and and I like being able to give back, but selfishly, probably like a lot of your institutions, we there's just we're reaching that wave of where people are in our department are retiring. We're trying to figure out real practical ways to bring that next level of trust practitioners, bring them up to speed, and and make sure that they're just excellent in the industry, serving our clients and working for the institution. And so I I I think that what we have accomplished through this uh, through the agenda is something that you can come and you're going to learn strong practical takeaways that you'll be able to use with your team and with your clients to serve your clients, to grow your book of business, for things that are really practical. And that was our goal throughout that whole process. And again, we weighed in from kind of pulling in from the expertise of each of the individual members of our board. And as you look through the schedule and the specific agenda topics, I think you're going to be really pleased with what's been put together. And with that, I think I'll pass it off now to Nicole, and she can share a little bit as well from her perspective.
Great to be here with you all. As Kim said, I'm Nicole Easton. I am a wealth advisor and trust officer at Emprise Wealth, which is a division of Family Bank in Wichita, Kansas. And I love what I get to do for clients every day. It's such a joy and a passion of mine. And that really translates into a few of the sessions that are going to be available for us to learn from in the symposium this year. As Andy said, we were really trying to be practical and set the practitioners up for success in 2026. And by doing that, we wanted to be proactive in what we were teaching and sharing, not reactive, things that were coming down the pike, not looking back and going, oh, it's too late for that. The advisory board is also made up of a wide variety of professionals, both purely wealth practitioners, purely trust practitioners, those like Andy and I who do both. And as Kim said, the response from ABA members and attendees to this content in the past is really taken seriously, not just in creating a virtual event, but in terms of the content. And one of the things that we heard was sometimes the content's too much for me, sometimes the content's too little for me. So the ABA really needed its focus. And one of the things that it did on this advisory board, as Kim said, was really ask us, what are we running into? What do we need to know? What do we need to have in our toolbox to be prepared for success in 2026? So I know you will not be disappointed by the content. A couple of the sessions that I'm really excited about, I think one of them is called Trust But Verify. Corollary to that, we have a session, essentially, how far can you go? So as practitioners, we're a lot of things, but we're not everything. We are advisors at the heart of what we do. And we really have to rely on our partners to make sure things like accounting and legal work get done correctly. But I'm so passionate about making sure that my clients have documents that truly reflect their wishes. And I know you never, so many don't reflect what they want, or they don't understand what they say. And if you really dig into that with them, you can really help them accomplish what they intend to do, which I just find so much value in. That's where my heart is. So I'm excited that we're presenting on that. The other thing is actually, Kim already mentioned it. It was a topic I brought up, beneficiaries behaving badly. And I've said for years, I would love to make a reality TV show called Benny's Behaving Badly. We've all got them. And candidly, I wouldn't do without them. They make me a better trust officer and a better human, but I'm excited to learn how to navigate some of those challenges better, and definitely not only for myself, but for the benefit of to serve, oftentimes through the most difficult times in someone's life. So looking forward to hearing about that. And in terms of why I think this is important, there's so many reasons, but for me in particular, I'm a new mom. I've got a 9.5-month-old, and maintaining my professional certifications. I'm both a CPA and a CTFA. Leaving town right now, even for somewhere like San Diego, where we were last year, but I didn't get to go because I was postpartum. I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to do this and interact with my industry colleagues, learn from and alongside you, and be able to maintain that certification. So grateful to ABA for doing this for us, and looking forward to seeing many of you in February.
All right. Thank you so much, Nicole and Andy. Like I said, they are a really valuable part of our conference, of our event, and we are happy to have their input. And they're excited, and I hope you are excited to possibly attend. So, moving forward, let's talk a little bit about registration. So we've divided this into two different registration categories. So as certification holders, so this is if you hold an ABA certification, mainly the CTFA would be the applicable one for this conference. This applies to you. We also have, you do not have to be a CTFA. Being a practitioner is great and welcome, but we do give our best pricing to the certification holders. So we have it divided out in that way. So a certification holder has a few different registration options. You can purchase the entire symposium for $825, and that's for 15 CTFA credits. So if you do the math, I believe that is $45 a CTFA a credit hour, which is really great. Then we have our trust focus day and our wealth focus day, which those are options that provide you 7.5 credit hours. And those, like I said, February 4th is trust, February 5th is wealth. Focuses on those specific areas. So if you're only interested in one and you're a CTFA holder, you can register for an individual day. If you are only interested in one but want more credit hours, we have a package that you can combine with our webinars. So the Trust Focus or the Wealth Focus webinars, and there's an option to combine package with those and earn more credit hours. And you see all of that listed here. And then I went the wrong way. For our members and non-members, you have the option to register for the entire symposium. That is $10.75 for ABA members, $15.75 for non-members. The system knows if your bank is a member, you are a member. So if you're working at a bank that's a member, that means by working at that bank, you're a member. And when you sign in, the system knows by your email address if you are a member or not, and it will give you that pricing. And then we have a really great option, which we're excited for. We encourage everyone to send their teams. We think this is a great opportunity to learn, to get in front of your whole team and give them an opportunity to learn a lot of really valuable information. So if you have a group of 5 to 10 people, that's $745 a person. If you have a group of 11 plus, that is $660 a person. We already have 2 groups registered, one sending 16 people, one sending 12. We have, I'm in talks with another group that I think is sending 30 plus. So people really are finding the value of this and that the pricing is really good for what they get. If you are a CTFA holder and you register in that group, you will still get your credit as well. You don't have to register under the CTFA option to get the credit. If you are a holder and you register with group registration, you get the even lower price and the credit. And then continuing with credit, as I said, we're approved for CTFA hours. We also, 2 other ABA certifications, the CISP and the CRSP. It's being reviewed for credit for those 2 options. We also submit for pre-approval to the Certified Financial Planners Board for CFP credit. That is pending currently. We will update our website once we have that. It's something that I do believe we will receive approval for, but don't know the number of hours. We often get the question about continuing legal education. We do not submit for pre-approval for that credit. It is a state-by-state process, so we don't do that. But if you want to submit yourself for CLE, you are absolutely able to. And if we can assist you with giving you any information, an agenda or anything for that, happy to help and share that information. But if you need CLE credit, you would have to apply for that yourself. Okay, and then just to summarize, reasons to attend. Access to great content and speakers, and it's all from the comfort of your home or your office. Also, if you miss sessions, you are able to go back and watch those until February 28th. You can earn CE credit, and there's no travel cost. That is often one of the hardest parts and some of the biggest feedback we've heard from banks is that it's expensive to send people. The travel costs are a lot, and that's often a barrier for people attending. So you don't have travel costs this way. And with that, I will turn it over to you all and see if there are any questions. You can enter in the chat or just take yourself off mute and ask if there's any questions. All right, I don't see any, so we will end it from here. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact Alana or myself, kchancey@aba.com, ahindy@aba.com. You will get a follow-up email from Alana with a link to this recording, and that will have our contact information in it also. So if you have any questions, please let us know, and we hope this has been informative, and we hope it has inspired you to come to our event in February. All right, thanks everyone.